what did I just witness? Like, I was in a complete state of shock. Like, there's no way this just happened.
It's pretty hard to process.
It's very hard to process. A lot of people did lose their lives.
How have the last couple of days been for you as you try to process what's taken place?
It was very much a state of shock, and it fully hasn't really settled into my mind. I went by the police station, 32 Division, gave my statement, and kind of going through all these steps really, really caused the whole incident to sink in, and how sad this whole incident really was for everybody.
Mental trauma in the wake of this week's horrifying incident on Yonge Street. It's something many of us are dealing with. Now we're outside of St. Mike's Hospital, where 2 of the 14 injured were rushed on Monday. They remain here tonight. And while many patients deal with their physical injuries, doctors, frontline workers, first responders, as well as in this week's situation, citizens are also dealing with the scars etched deep in their minds. Today, we spoke with multiple doctors, as well as a retired cop who now works as a peer support worker.
There's so much trauma exposure out there. There's so many incidents. There's the sights, the sounds, the smells, the experiences. I was involved in a shooting in the 80s that resulted in a loss of life. And you don't come through that without changing. There's a lot of intrusive memories. There's a lot of sleepless nights. There's a lot of anger and frustration. There's a moral injury.
What almost every doctor will agree on is that peer support is key, especially for first responders or hospital staff dealing with mental trauma on the job. They need to have people who have experienced it, who have been there to talk to. For the average citizen, having an outlet isn't always as easy. Dr. Bonnie Burstow calls herself a radical trauma practitioner. She's an associate prof at U of T, though she doesn't use the acronym PTSD. She believed the term pathologizes a person's normal response to horrible events. Dr. Burstow believes everyone involved in Monday's tragedy will process and be affected by it in a different way. She doesn't believe there's any drug or single remedy when dealing with mental trauma.
No one 100% recovers. If by recover you mean how can they be the same as they were before they experienced it? Of course they can't be. But can they get to a place where they're more comfortable walking down the street more often than not, where they're not being assailed anywhere near as often by terrors, by nightmares? Absolutely. The person who thinks that they're going to get through it in 10 days might discover they seem to be through it in 2 weeks or 2 months. And then they're fine for a month, and then the next wave comes. This is something now in their lives. Right? It can't be not in their lives. It can be just something where the volume is toned down considerably because they're processing it, and because people are listening to them and validating them, not telling them they have a disorder and they should go see a professional.
For some, it might sound like a bleak outlook.
It's actually not, and because often the traumatized person sees reality a lot clearer than other people, and can prepare things a lot clearer because they no longer think the whole world is safe and I can walk down the street and nothing can ever happen to me. It's not a bleak outlet. It can lead to some incredible realism.
According to Dr. Burstow, some things that can help is talk. Talk about what you are going through. Surround yourself with people who will listen to you, and reach out to your community. One of the most important things she believes, realize what you are going through is normal.